Okay, Alex, this is an opportune little comparison here. We've wanted to do this for a while, and it's something we get asked often. What exactly are we testing today?
Well, Trent, today we're going to find out what's cheaper on a road trip. Is it a petrol car or an electric car?
I like that. Now, when it comes to petrol cars, it doesn't get much more efficient than a Toyota hybrid. They have basically set the standard for hybrid systems and efficiency. But what's the electric car that we're using?
Well, this is the BYD Dolphin. It's the newest budget electric car in the country. This one here is one model up from the base. So it's about $45,000 before on-road costs. Pretty close to that on price. But the real question is, which is cheaper to run on the open road?
Now, that's the point. This is specifically which one of these two is going to be cheaper on a road trip. So forget about charging at home for this comparison. Don't worry about that. This is a typical, summer's day, early summer day in Australia. It's pretty hot. We're going to have the aircon running. We're going to give these cars a workout on the highway. It's time to hit that highway and find out.
Embarking from the Drive office in North Sydney, our 195-kilometre test loop began at the start of the Hume motorway in Sydney's southwest, down to the Sutton Forest service station where we switched drivers, turned around and drove back to the starting point at the end of the motorway. At the end of the highway drive loop, we calculated how much fuel and electricity each car had used, and in the Corolla's case, cross-checked the trip computer with a petrol browser to account for any inaccuracy. To keep the test consistent, the climate control in both cars was set to an automatic 22 degrees. We set adaptive cruise control to the speed limit, which for most of the drive was 110 kilometers an hour. And we swapped the order of the cars to ensure one car wasn't getting an advantage from following in the slipstream of the other. In the silver corner is the Toyota Corolla ZR Hybrid, the most expensive hybrid Corolla hatch money can buy, priced from $39,100 before on-road costs. It is powered by a 1.8 litre four-cylinder petrol engine and an electric motor, good for 103 kilowatts. But it's the fuel efficiency that matters here. A claimed 4 litres per 100 kilometres of 91 octane petrol in mixed driving, or 4.3 litres per 100 kilometres on the highway. That makes it one of the most fuel-efficient petrol cars money can buy. And with a 43 litre fuel tank, Toyota claims a highway driving range of 1,000 kilometres. And in the silver corner, there's the BYD Dolphin, one of Australia's cheapest and most affordable electric vehicles. Built by a Chinese company that is now the world's second largest seller of electric cars behind Tesla. We're testing the middle of the range premium model, priced from $44,890 before on-road costs. With a two-tone metallic paint on our Corolla test car, the difference in driveway pricing between these two is only $1,500. The Dolphin Premium is powered by a 150 kilowatt electric motor and a 60.5 kilowatt hour battery pack, which BYD claimed are good for energy consumption of 14.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres and driving range of 427 kilometres, both according to lab testing. We've kept you waiting long enough. The results. On our 195 kilometre test loop, we used 5.2 litres per 100 kilometres of fuel in the Corolla, as measured at the petrol pump, and 16.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres of energy in the Dolphin. But the question of which car is cheaper depends on the current price of petrol and electricity. With fuel prices at $1.70 a litre, the Corolla costs $17.24 to cover the distance we did, which increases to $18.25 if petrol is $1.80 a litre, and $20.28 if it's $2 a litre. As for the Dolphin, at a slower and more affordable fast charging station that costs 45 cents per kilowatt hour, the BYD needs $14.48 of energy to complete our test loop. But on a Tesla supercharger, which at the time of publishing costs up to 85 cents per kilowatt hour for non-Tesla electric cars, the same charge would cost $27.35. As we mentioned at the start, we're not taking into account charging at home, which could be free with solar energy or as low as 15 cents per kilowatt hour from the grid at night, because you can't charge at those prices on the side of the motorway on a highway road trip.
Well, I suspected it would be close, but that was a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be, actually.
Yeah, that's right. As we said, it really depends on the day that you decide to go on a road trip. If petrol's particularly expensive, the electric car will be cheaper.
Yep.
If you go to a really expensive charging station, the petrol car will be cheaper. It just depends on the price of energy, the price of fuel on the day you're doing it.
And of course, if you're charging at home, that's irrelevant, as we said
exactly
at the start of the video. But I'll be hitting the road 40 minutes ahead of you while you're waiting to charge this on the side of the road, won't I?
You got me there.
We have a winner. No, read the story. There's a lot of detail in it. Don't forget to hit like if you've enjoyed the video. Click on subscribe so you stay up to date with all of our latest video content. And all of Alex's hard work and computing skills, they are on display over at Drive.com.au.